Now I got a video about the top 10 curse techniques in JJK. Top 10 curse techniques. I got the straw doll technique at number 10. That one's cool. But it has drawbacks. She has to, and this is the ability of Nobara Kurosaki. She used that shit on the she really was using it like good during like that fight at the end of season one, with the Curse Room death painting, uh, Izu- Izo and Kechizu, those two brothers. Um, she was using it in tandem with Itadori's punches and shit, but she was doing a lot of damage to these boys. She actually killed these guys. Um, she has to like use her body though. She started stabbing herself with these fucking nails in her arm. She started fucking, fucking these guys up. They started like being pain. It's like that voodoo doll technique in fucking One Piece with Basil Hawkins kind of, but like more damage is done to the user. Um, she used it also on she got better with it, and she was able to stop Mahito for a second. She was able to injure him, but it was actually his clone. But still, being able to injure a special grade curse like that, even for a second, was good. Um, I don't know if the girl was, still cool and still alive. She could have done some shit, but old girl died. And shit. That poor girl died at the end of season two to progress the plot. But number 9 is the ratio technique of Nanami. Nanami's ratio technique. Um, he's always like he cuts that shit down easy. Like all these transfigured humans and like weaker curses, like he gets rid of that shit quick. Um, Dealt with swiftly, easily, like no fucking problems. That draw doll technique, sometimes she has some problems, but he don't have problems with his technique. He's cutting shit down like real quick. Uh, yeah, I got that on the list because Nanami was a good guy as well, but he died as well. Um, Two, the same guy that um, Nobara died to. That would be Mahito, the guy who's fucking doing nasty shit and fucking with people's bodies. Um, you'll see. I'll have his technique on this list too. But number 8, I got the blood manipulation technique. A whole bunch of people have it. Noritoshi Kamo has it, and fucking like other people in the manga and shit have it. But mostly Choso has it, and he used that during the fight with Itadori. That was a great fight. He actually beat Itadori, beat his ass pretty bad. Um, some people want to say other things, but that's the truth. He got his ass whooped, and then Sukuna had to come out. And then he also used the blood manipulation technique against Geto. Not Geto, but Kenjaku. But Kenjaku was like wise beyond his years and shit. Not beyond his years, but he's very no, he's experienced with the curse techniques and all that stuff. He's knowledgeable on jujutsu sorcery and everything. So he was making Choso look like a fucking child with his technique, but he was still like doing damage and shit. He was shooting blood for days, and like he even like turned his blood into like armor and shit at one point in the fight with Itadori and stuff. Um, that blood technique's good. And Noritoshi Kama has that technique too. He's a Jujutsu High student from Kyoto, and he was fighting against fucking Megumi with that technique. But he ain't as good as Choso with it. Choso's better than he. But the people from the Kamo clan have that technique though. That's their shit. But number 7 is the disaster flames of Jogo. Like this man was able to like fucking burn people out just by like flicking his finger like he was inside of the fucking restaurant at the beginning of season 1. They were talking about plans to steal Gojo and shit, and he was like, what man, I can just lift my finger up and cook everybody. I can kill everybody with my flame. It ain't no thing here. That's what he told. That's what he told fucking Kenjaku. He was like, ain't no thing here. And Gojo, I ain't scared of it. But unfortunately, that shit wasn't enough for Gojo or Sukuna. Sukuna actually killed his ass. And he actually unleashed fucking with the disaster flames curse technique. He used oh fuck, what was that move called? Fucking that meteorite. He summoned the whole fucking like meteorite on his ass to send down on Sukuna, and Sukuna still defeated that shit. Everybody else was scared, but Sukuna stood there like, "This is easy. I can handle this shit." So that being said, at number 6, I have Idle Transfiguration. Um, I personally I have Jogo over Mahito, but Idle Transfiguration is a problem and shit because it affects people, turns them into like these fucking ugly ass monsters that look like curses, and they basically are curses at that point. Because only Mahito can reverse the effects of that. He actually used Idle Transfiguration to fix the body of goddamn what's his name? I'm trying to remember his fucking name. Um, After the like flashback arc in season 2, they went to this guy. What the fuck was his name? The guy Mekamaru. That's right, Mekamaru's main body, and he was like, we'll fix you, since you helped us, get to where we needed to be, to get the curse wound, death paintings, and prison realm. So in Sukuna fingers, all that shit. They needed all that shit so they could trap Gojo and Shibuya. And he was a person that helped them out, but he felt bad in other things. They, fixed his body. Well, Mahito fixed his body, and then he had a fight with Mahito, but Mahito ended up beating him. He gave a decent fight though, Mekamaru did, but the Idle Transfiguration is too good. All he has to do is touch you and manipulate your soul. Once he manipulates your soul, then like your body becomes some fucking like nasty shit. Um, yeah, don't get touched by that nasty ass man. But eventually he got absorbed by Kenjaku, and Kenjaku has that technique now. But number 5, I got Boogie Woogie. It's a great technique. He was actually using it on Mahito during the fight. That being Aototo using that during the fight. He used it in the fight against Hanami, and Itadori was like, "No, Toto," because Hanami had swung him against the fucking spike, and he was like, "No." He used his hands, clapped his hands, and switched spots. He can switch spots with anything that has a certain amount of cursed energy, even inanimate objects. If they have cursed energy in it, he can switch spots with it. Like, if this shit was in real life, I'd be using that shit all the time on people to fuck with them. I ain't gonna lie. That shit's gas. I like that. And he uses it in tandem with his like, curse technique, and he actually popped off some fucking backflashes too, with that. But like he has to use his hands to, perform the technique, and he lost his hand at the end of season 2. So you have to find out what happened later on. That manga is cool though. But number 4 is the cursed spirit manipulation. That is Kenjaku's technique now, but it was Suguru Geto's technique. It allows the user to like absorb cursed spirits, use this little ball thing and just like suck them in, and then consume it, and then that technique is used, or he can summon that cursed spirit later on. As long as he had a he had mostly first grade curses inside of his arsenal. Suguru did, but he had a few special grade curses that weren't that powerful. It's a great technique to have. He can summon these curses back out, and other things. He can use Uzumaki and summon all these curses into one, thing, and shoot it out as a blast. That shit is powerful. But not powerful enough to stop some people. At number 3, I got the Ten Shadows technique. Ten Shadows technique is used by Megumi, and yeah, a whole bunch of Shikigami. The wolves, the 2 dogs that he used. Then he had the elephant, and he had the frogs, and he had the fucking he had the rabbits too. The rabbits, and he has Nue. But all those shadows, and the best one is Maharaga. Like I said, and Maharaga's, not to be like slept upon. Maharaga you use a technique on it and it survives that technique, you can't use that shit on it no more. You'd be screwed if you had one. If you have one technique in your arsenal, you ain't gonna beat Maharaga. And you're like some fucking weak ass sorcerer, you can't beat him. Only Gojo or Sukuna, and Sukuna did beat Maharaga. That's why I got him at number two. His Chris technique, but it wasn't cleave and dismantle, but cleave, dismantle. Um, he has the knives and shit. But then he has that move called uh, that fire arrow that he used. The cleave and dismantle. The cleave and dismantle. Cleave cuts the cursed energy, and dismantle cuts the non-cursed energy. Anything with cursed energy, anything with non-cursed energy. Then he equips that to his domain expansion called Malevolent Shrine, and he destroys everything. Like everything gets destroyed, cut to shreds. And it's only but he puts a parameter on it, 200-meter radius, and then everything within there gets destroyed. Everything gets cut the fuck up. You ain't surviving shit like that. But Maharaga did survive that, and he was like, "Oh shit, this guy's like cool. I have to break out another curse technique because I'm the king of curses, so I have to like break out the fire arrow and put him down." And that's how he had to do it. But number two, or not number two, that's number two, Sukuna's curse techniques, and then number one is Limitless in the Six Eyes from Gojo. The Limitless allows nothing to get to Gojo unless he himself says that you can touch him, you can't touch him. To bypass that barrier is yet to be seen in the anime. I'll say that. The Six Eyes technique allows him to see cursed energy and see how it flows in other people and other things. So he has a great understanding of cursed energy better than everybody else. Besides Sukuna, though. I had to say that. And maybe Kenjaku, but he can't be touched. The man can't be touched. If you can't be touched, you ain't gonna lose. And then he has offensive powers as well. Blue and red. Blue and red. The convergence and divergence, and then he uses hollow purple. Destroy shit, tear shit up. That was the number one. Limitless and Six Eyes of Gojo. So those are the top 10 Chris techniques in JJK. Stay cool, corner.